Guys, today we'll be talking about religion in China, right? The basic overview. In general, we might go deep in some topics. We'll just see where the conversation takes us.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go. Um, since you're Chinese, right? I can ask you, like, what are the major religions in China? Hmm.
You mean in ancient or right now?
Like both.
Maybe maybe if we can
Hmm.
start with the ancient, like
Okay. Let me start from yes, okay. The religion is okay, of course. I think that possibly that every religion has their roots in their cosmology, and Chinese cosmology of the universe. Okay, they say the arcade of the universe. They are sometimes have a shared arcade, which is 天. That is translated to English mostly as heaven. And this might be the most common religion that is in and there was in ancient and in both right now. Also another one is okay, our religion to our ancestors. So it is not necessarily we're making our ancestor a sage. No, we're not doing it in a Christianity way, but we just memorize them. We just celebrate them annually. Mm. And we just offers them sacrifice, but simple things. For example, some meat, some paper coins. That is okay. We burn the paper coin to sacrifice to memorize our ancestors, and this is also a very common. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of this kind of religion in China or not? Because this is maybe the most common religion in Chinese culture or even Asian culture, Asia, I mean. Okay.
Hmm.
Then we started from the religion. All right. The first one I'll
Hmm.
say that in China, that is Daoism. But Daoism religion, because Daoism is actually a school of philosophy during the spring and autumn period. And uh, according to the text, but there's no guarantee that this religion is this school was invented by the philosopher Lao Tzu, but we cannot uh, strictly prove that okay, there is a guy in spring and autumn period of time, but let's just say. And then
Hmm.
after like for 500 years, then we have Han Dynasty, and from this during this or four yes sorry 400 years, during this 400 years, uh, we the Taoism school of philosophy uh, took in Confucianism and uh, school of yin yang and school of uh, Ming. Yes, school of Ming, but I'm not sure if the how does Ming and yin yang was translated to English, but I can type it later to your through WeChat, okay? And they took
Yeah.
some theory of these two schools, and because they are people are suffering because of the politics and the war. So there is a religion of Taoism invented and inherited until today. So it is a very, very old religion in China, and it is like local. Uh, yes, it is maybe the most important local religion that is invented, that was rooted in China, Chinese history, and developed it through thousands of years. And let's move on. What we have, Buddhism. Yes, uh,
Mm-hmm.
Buddhism in China. We all know that Buddhism was brought into China during, some says Qing Dynasty, some says Han Dynasty, but okay, during Qing Han dynasties. Then, well, what else do we know? Is
I
it
also heard that
bec-
it came from India, is it?
Yes, yes, it is exactly. It came from India. India. Then what else? The Buddhism. Buddhism is uh there is a two forms of Buddhism that is brought into China, according to the history book, which I was told during high school. And one
Mm-hmm.
is North uh, pr- uh, enter China by yeah, at Xinjiang province today, and another is the road they took is lower, the geographically lower. That is like through Xizang province. That is we call that the first one 小乘佛教. That is 小乘 Buddhism, and the later one 大乘 佛教, that is 大乘 Buddhism, and the, through thousands of years, they're not like the Taoism religion, which is uh, remains compared to Buddhism. Taoism religion remains a lot of habits and theory in its religious uh, doctrine. However, the Buddhism actually has changed because we started from two roots, right? The Dacheng Buddhism and
Mm-hmm.
Xiaocheng Buddhism. We started from two roots, and we changed. The Buddhism was almost completely changed. If you go strict to what we got from India,
Yeah,
then
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For
uh,
sure.
there's a specific school of Buddhism was later brought into Japan during Tang Dynasty or earlier, a bit of earlier than Tang Dynasty. Uh, uh, that is for. Let me give you a record that Tang Dynasty is established on the year. Sorry, in the year of 618. Okay, AD 618
Mm-hmm.
AD, and
Yeah.
uh, uh, maybe a bit of earlier or later than that 618. Huayan school of Buddhism of China was brought
Mm-hmm.
into Japan by the how do we call them, the the delegates of Japan, or the merchant of Japan, or the monk of Japan, I don't know, and this
More,
is brought into Japan.
uh, uh, like more
You're
like
saying what?
they were acting more like missionaries, right?
Yes, yes, but not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily missionaries. It's like uh, at least my textbook try to show me. It is not China wanted to tell them, okay, you should follow this religion. No, it is the people from Japan. They came for there are no China at that time. Chinese culture is maybe the best in their world. Okay, in Japan's
Hmm.
eyes, okay, at that time, Japanese eyes, Chinese culture was the most important and flourish culture in the world. So they came, they learned the system of politics and all the others, and along with this learning, uh, uh, Huayan school's doctrine of Buddhism was brought from China to Japan and also spread it around the Asia, like Korea, both nowadays south and north, but and that is not popular right now, at least compared to Japan.
Yes, yes, special at
Mm,
that time.
sorry?
It must have been special at that time for the Japanese to come to China and
Mm-hmm.
just learn the culture and go back and teach it to their own, like, yeah, in the world. It really was special at that
But you're saying like the culture must have been so special. But
Oh, okay.
in my own point of view, I would
time.
say it's like China in general during those days, it was in its golden age.
Uh,
So most
go.
of the people
Yes.
would have came here, or actually like for many things, trade, for example. And obviously, if you're
Yes.
trading or doing something like that, you will learn the culture and then take something good and live with it.
Okay, that is, as a Chinese, I'm proud of the Tang Dynasty, Han Dynasty, even Song Dynasty in culturally, because it is all considered the golden age of Chinese history. And uh, it is how to say this because my girl, she is doing her research on history of knowledge. Okay, maybe she knows better about this than me than I do. What I learned from our through our chat earlier days is that this transformation and transportation of knowledge, let's just call religions or others as knowledge,
Y-
uh, through
Yeah.
have many forms. Like in Europe, we have merchant to be the
Hmm.
mediator. We have the scholars to be the mediator. That's true. That's correct. And in China, between China and Japan, or between China and especially China and Japan, because there is a sea between the two lands, right? The land and the island. I'm sorry. So there is hard making things harder for the merchants. Okay, for so there's if China and Japan, or Japan wants to reach China, there is uh merchant. The power of merchant is not it's not okay. It's not trustful. You cannot trust that thing. So they requires the politic force, and since the politic force came in, there's one thing that you guys you guys should know is, like, in ancient time, especially uh Tang Dynasty, uh Ming Dynasty, or Han Dynasty, China is more. Sometimes we're trying to very hard to be generous. We try very hard to show the generosity of this country to the all the agents from other countries. Sometimes they could be merchants, because like there's a lot of merchants from Korea or Vietnam. I don't know, but
Hmm.
which they offered a little things, some things like okay, that is rare in China, but it's not valuable in, for example, Vietnam. They okay, the emperor will offer them like a lot 10 times bigger gold in order to for return, also for to show okay the generosity, we should show that like okay we are the best at that time. And so that will that will created a very interesting historical phenomenon, which is the sort of the transportation and the transformation of knowledge was conducted by this kind of political activity. Do you guys get what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
Through this
Yeah, we get.
this activity to well, let's just call that a generosity activity, which is call it like that, okay? And through this generosity uh, activity, religion was brought into China and brought from China to Japan, and also the somewhere like Thailand and also Korea. And this activity was given a deeper destiny in history only because Chinese people, we are, I don't know how to say that in English. I'm so sorry. Like we are we are very after the price
Oh yes.
Hmm.
internationally. We are so okay. We'll just sometimes okay, let me just be frank. We we want to show off.
Yeah,
If
that's
we
I
Obviously,
talk
if
think
there's
about
something
okay,
good,
nationality
everyone wants
things.
to show
But I don't want to say that, okay, but I cannot find
off.
another proper word for that. Okay, and then that's the end of Buddhism because I cannot give you anything but the brief introduction like this, and if you are interested, uh I mean, you can find Buddhism temple in China everywhere because that is it was localized through Tang Dynasty and until today, and there will be still be there the temple, also the temple of Daoism. It's not as many as Buddhism's temple, but it's okay. You can find it, and there's some famous temples that I can recommend. And lastly, we will reach Muslim, okay, because
Hmm.
that is also, from what I know, that is also popular in China. Be- For, why do I know this? Because my mom, she is a Muslim. She comes from a Muslim family, and so but I was so I was raised. I grew up in a transculture uh family. My mom and my dad, um, I believe, and I have no religion, but my mom and my grandpa and my cousins, they do. So there's how do we say this? Uh, do you know that China have uh 56 athletes, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the major one is Hanzu, and the rest is
Hmm.
like call them rare, okay? And
Okay,
this
the
real
minorities.
yes, uh, uh, that is Muslim is another common, but it's a religion for the rare people in China, athletes, I mean, and because most of our Han people, we don't have faith, honestly. Some of us, not most, but if there's an option for them, they will choose Buddhism, and next is Daoism, and then that's end of the story. It is very rare for a Han people to to have their faith in other religions. For example, Christianity. There are of course some guys in China there are now believing in Christianity, but I would say rare, very rare. And
Yeah.
Muslim, they they're let me recall. This quite different from what I see in the Middle East country. Is because China we don't that nowadays we don't uh do the how do we call that, like daily worship, because the Muslim they have to worship to Allah for like 6 times a day, and very
Yeah,
strict to time,
it's
very
just six
punctual,
six to
which I
five
re
times a day.
yeah, I think it's six if I remember correctly, but okay,
Oh.
let's continue. And very
Hmm.
punctual, which I do respect, but these things is not happening in China. You can worship in back home. That's okay in your home, or privately you can do it. But the public religious is, I think, is not allowed, because I haven't seen one
Hmm.
unless there is a festival, and uh, the believers are allowed to gather in the temple, and or there's some special circumstance, okay, invites the religious leaders, okay, to participate, also the believers to participate, but normally we do our religious worship home. And that is the case for Muslim, because they have this need to do this 6 a day, and but unfortunately in China this is not happening in the public, because if you noticed that the airport, some countries in Europe, yes, especially even in Europe, they have this kind of a special room which is for the people of for them to do it,
At the airport.
to yes, in the airport they have the special, there
Wow.
are special rooms for that. Uh, I've seen this in two cities. One is Vienna. Another
Hmm.
is Turkey. But Turkey, there are the people, so that is common. But Vietnam, that is okay. That is, I would say, I'm quite shocked to see this. But in China, there's no such a thing. Well, at least what I've seen in China, there's no such rooms, there's no such facilities for them.
Uh,
And yes,
we have a
you're
quick
trying to
question.
say, Cotton?
Us is like in public places. Is there a way you can tell that this person is a Taoist or this person is a Buddhist in public without having a conversation with the person? Uh,
He
let's
asked
say,
if
for
you
an
can
example,
tell,
in
like,
public
if
places.
someone is a Buddhist or like their religion by just looking at them in the streets.
Oh, yes, some of the yes, you can just by one grasp, you can tell. because they're although they are not allowed uh, uh, to act religiously in public. However, they are allowed to dress whatever they like. They are allowed to
Oh,
dress in according to the doctrine, and you can see the Muslim guys like when I was a boy and when I was in China before I leave China. Each every year we have this kind of festival. For Muslims. And at that day, we will just put a small small hat on our head, and we attend the festival, and every people can see, okay, we're we're Muslims, okay, and the monks, some a Buddhist monk, they are dressed like the guys in TV series, like the ancient monks and the ancient Buddhist monks, and Taoism, that is okay. They are way more. They are maybe the easiest to tell because most of them were keeping a long hair, having a long beard. Yes, and you'll see that, okay, we will call them like in Chinese like 高人. It's like, okay, oh they're cultivated. We can see by their appearance. Yes, that's true.
Also, I have a question on
Sure.
Confucianism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many
Yes, I'm
people,
waiting for
like
you
I've
asking.
had some people, they say like it's a religion, some view it as a philosophical idea. So what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is?
Okay. Okay, now because now I'm doing my master's in Chinese philosophies, especially the Confucianism. Uh,
Mm.
this is the specific region I'm working on. I'm working in. So, how to say this? Because on the one hand, Confucianism, we have temple of Confucianism. The famous one is in Shandong province, Kongmiao. That is a temple of Confucianism. And so we have the temple. We have, of course, we have statues in the temple, and we have worship towards Confucius himself or his disciples, like Mencius or Zhenzi.
Oh,
Uh, so yes, if you say that, okay, that is yes, that depends on you, how your uh judgment, okay, uh your standard of religion, okay. If your standard is okay, worship, uh temple statues, yes, then Confucianism is a religion. But as a Chinese, I will not agree with such a standard because we don't treat Confucianism as a god. We call them a sage. And this sage is not a sage like sage Saint Paul or some other sages in Christianity. It is a
yeah. In
sage is more
Christianity, they call
like
them
a,
saints.
yes, yes, saint. And uh, sage in China about Confucianism, uh it is a title of morality. It's about ethics. It's about moral. It's about, okay, what is right and what is wrong. But we believe the sage, they will always be right. And we're not
mm,
saying, okay, they have the special power or something. They don't perceive any supernatural power, but by the cultivation, they learn to tell what is right and what is wrong, and they will always tell you what is right and what is wrong, and they will. hopefully they won't make mistakes. We believe the sage will make no mistake in moral judgment, and that's
So
it.
what about
So
Confucius himself? Did he believe in a higher power? Like, did he believe that there is a God or something?
mm, at least for me and the people with I talk about this topic with in the Chinese people. I mean, we we share this common no this common view. Yes, we don't view Confucius as a god. No, no way, because he uh it was the Chinese government, like in ancient time, the dynasty's government. They're trying to
Mm.
establish, trying to make him a god. Uh, that is why we have the temples of Confucianism. But
Oh,
at
I
least
see.
now, the Confucius, okay, is uh, no God. Yes, we still respect him for the moral doctrines that he invented and all his disciples developed, and we are proud of them. Yes, but since you are proud of them, you get what I mean. You cannot be proud of the
Yeah.
God because that is not your realm. That is okay. The God is not your homie, or okay, but we can say that we are proud of Confucius. We are proud of Mencius
Mm.
because we are people. We are all human. So we are all Chinese. So we are proud of them. So
Yeah.
I
And
guess that's it.
most of the Chinese, like the cultural, how can I say, the cultural ideology, it bases off Confucianism. Like, this is it sort of like a rule or what? An idea on benevolence that everyone is good. Like, there's no one that
Mm,
is evil. Everyone is fundamentally good. I think that is what it says.
uh-huh.
Is it?
Y- you may okay. Let me think about it. So
Like like the
you're
fundamentals of Confucianism.
yes, but I'm thinking that uh uh the yes, the basic knowledge, the fundamental the Confucianism as a culture of fu fundamental structure in Chinese culture.
Yeah,
Yes, that's true, but we should know the Confucianism and Daoism. They are both uh they they are uh they they share some of common knowledge. They have something
yeah,
very common that is not we cannot say that is a factor of Confucianism or a factor of Taoism originally. We cannot tell because uh they at because for example, the balance of yin and yang, that is maybe the most common knowledge of about China, about Chinese
yeah,
culture. These two poles, one is yin, one is yang, and this kind of form of things is also in Confucianism, if you look into the text. So we cannot say we say we will know that okay, this is a part of this is origin from Taoism, but it is also deeply rooted in Confucianism. So does there some other factors in Taoism that is okay. originally Confucianism. So they are taking in, they are tangling together. So we cannot. So today we cannot tell them apart as a common people, not as the scholars. The scholars they all have their methods to do so, but for common people we cannot tell them apart uh, uh, simply. So back to your question. So yes, there is. As today's morality about ethics view of modern Chinese, there we still believe we are still practicing the moral doctrine of Confucianism. Yes, for example, me and some friend of mine that we have the things whenever we feel okay, this is the wrong thing. Uh, we will and we tend to stop it if we are brave enough, because every day, because sometimes we can be brave and sometimes we can be coward, and at least being our in our brave days, we will say, okay, this is an action of yi, that is translated as justice more commonly into English, and this concept is from Confucianism. We say 见义勇为. When let me try to translate it. Translate it. Whenever we see an action of justice, we should be brave to do it. Be brave enough to do it. There is a word from Confucius. So we do this. Mm. So that is rooted in our everyday life. That's true, man.
So, what are your thoughts on this statement? Like, it says, all people are inherently good.
Old people, what?
Yeah, yeah. All people are inherently good.
Oh, you say,
Mhm.
this. You mean by nature to be good, right?
Yeah.
Inherently, yes.
What are
This,
your thoughts?
this is actually, that is actually uh, the theory of Mencius, not Confucius himself.
Uh,
And Mencius was like disciple of disciple of disciple of Confucius. Okay, about 100 years later than Confucius. So, uh, but this is also a debate about this in China. In Confucianism, the sage, I mean, this 261 is mentioned, so another is Xunzi, Master Xun. They have this
mhm.
debate, but not because they are not contemporary. Okay, they are not contemporary, but there's disciples have this kind of debate. Okay, whether man and the human by nature to be good or to be evil. And
Yeah.
until today, we don't have a result. We don't have a winner of this debate because apparently we cannot see. Okay, some days we can be good and some days we can be bad. Some days we can uh look, I mean, the nowadays world, the wars. Some days the during the Olympic Games, okay, everything, every wall, all the world sees. Okay, we see. Okay, we human, we're good. We came together with despite different races and different countries with different nationalities. We came for the Olympic Games. We came for sports. We came for friendship. We came for uh what is say higher, faster, better, this kind of slogan. Yes, if we look at this aspect of humanity, we see this human, we are good. We are yes, we can say, we can try to make a claim that, okay, we are by nature to be good. like Aristotle said, like man seeks happiness like an archer with the target. That is spontaneous action. Yes, it's in our nature to seek happiness. Like Mencius mentions, like humanity towards goodness is like water dropping from a cliff. Because of gravity, there's no choice. But
Yeah, it's nature.
if we look at the other things,
Mhm.
they can also prove, okay, we are not uh, born to be good, or
Mm.
safely to say we are born. Uh, I have to agree with the Christianity. We are born sometimes with sin and some, but okay, 50% good, 50%
Yeah,
badness.
50-50.
It's like
Yeah, everything is
50-50. But
50-50.
let's,
Yeah.
yes, because
'Cause,
I'm not
for
saying that
in
it's
my
okay, strictly 50-50. Okay,
mm, in my own
sure,
point
sure.
of view, I
What?
would say uh people in general, right? They are born
Mm-hmm.
selfish. That is what I have observed, and that is what I've
That's
seen.
mm-hmm.
Like for example, for animals, right? We can go to animals. They are all selfish. It's like that's where the statement end up coming, survival for the fittest, right? So
Mm.
everyone
Yes,
does something
yes, that's
that is
true.
to
That's
their
true.
benefit. Like if it's not to their benefit, that's when we'll say now you are doing an act of good. But inherently, I would say people are selfish. They do okay, self-preservation, I can say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that they can to preserve
Yes,
themselves.
I can agree.
Another example I can give, if you watch, I like watching movies. There's this
Mm-hmm.
Walking Dead, The Walking Dead, right? It's a movie, it's a post-apocalyptic movie, like after there's a disease, zombies, and so forth. That's where you actually see that people
Yes,
are
I know that.
selfish. Yeah, you see
Mm-hmm.
what people will be doing to each other.
Yes,
They
that's true.
ended up
That's true.
being more of a threat to themselves, more than the zombies. You see, so
Mm-hmm.
in a way, it would be like highlighting and reflecting people's hidden nature.
Yes. Yes, if you
Yeah.
say that,
So
okay. But you're suggesting a dualism. One is okay, the nature of animals. Then another is
yeah.
in Aristotle's world, the nature of rationality. Okay, so you're
Hmm.
suggesting we have them both, and agree with you because yes, exactly. I think that is what we are. We are animals, like you say that the babies they are crying. They're crying for attention. Is because if in ancient times when we are animals, like if he doesn't cry, if the baby doesn't cry, the mother there's a possibility for the mother not to okay paying attention to the baby because
Yeah.
the newborn baby they need some care, very very
Hmm.
delicate
Obviously.
care. If the baby doesn't cry, he will die. And but what I'm suggesting about morality is, even though we are aware of our animalistic nature, and we are aware of, okay, we have desires like towards, for example, a libido towards money, towards power, or any other things. But and our nature of rationality sometimes is weak. Yes, weak. If you just give me like put me like $1,000 in front of me, I'll say, okay, my strength of will is of course will shake, of course. But
for sure.
honestly, that is the greatness of humanity. Is like,
Hmm.
although there's what we have to for the good things, sometimes they could be powerless, and sometimes could uh be corrupted. Still, we hold on to it. That is the greatness of
Yeah.
human. I think that is the greatness of, as Aristotle says, rationality, and in Confucianism there will be 仁, that is benevolence.
Uh, so, what are your thoughts on modern religion, like the modern religion
Hmm.
in China, like in general? What are your thoughts on it?
My opinions on it,
Yeah.
okay, is honestly, I'm quite curious about why some of the foreign people will say that, okay, well, there's no religion in modern China. According to what I've experienced, no, because I was, as we mentioned, I born and raised in a trans-religious family, because the mother of my dad, which is my grandma, she is a believer of Buddhism. So uh, I I participate the religious activities, these two type of religious activity when I was a child, and I think this is incredible, because in somewhere else you will find it harder to see the peace between religions and another religions, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
in China, so that is common, because
So
uh we
there's
know that.
this thing,
Yes, please.
like going back on your question when you said like I don't know why most foreigners think that there's no religion here in China. One of the
Mm-hmm.
major answers that I can give, right, and especially when I was back in Zimbabwe, um, I would say the China that I knew was from the movies, right? And the major religion that most of the people know about is Buddhism, right? Looking at those kung fu
Mm-hmm.
movies and stuff. Yeah, mostly to be like
Mm-hmm.
monks that will be there practicing kung fu. So that's the major religion that they think is there, and the only religion that is there. Like most of the foreigners think. But when you do your research, you end up
Mm-hmm.
finding out like yeah, there are many religions here in China, and it is allowed. Uh, but I could say, as you have mentioned before, like some of these religions, they are like from the minority ethnic groups, so they are not as known compared to the ones that
Mm-hmm.
are, let's say, for the Han people. Uh, that's the major ethnic group, right? Uh, some of them are what they are atheists, right? Some of them, and then some of them are Buddhists. So those are
Mm-hmm.
the major religions that will be known at that time. Even outside of China, that is what is known. Like most of them are Buddhists. Some of them atheists, I can say.
Yes. Yes,
Hmm.
you're right, you're right. Uh, uh, but the things for Chinese people, the common Chinese people, we have it is hard to be a god in China, because uh we have dynasties, we have emperors, we have the cynical power that is over the power of religious power. and sometimes the emperor themselves will took the claim to be uh, the son of heaven. Okay, so okay, he
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
a cynical king, also the religious king, or emperor. So it is. So, there's no time. There's no a moment of Chinese history that the world, the country was ruled by religion. So you have to understand. We don't. We believe with some believers in China. We are very faithful, but we know in our history. And thanks to our history, we know that religious is not a proper, we believe, not we know, but we suggest, we believe that
Mhm.
religion is not a proper uh, leader to rule the country.
Yeah,
So,
and it's also good
in
because
that case,
China wasn't affected by colonialism compared to Africa. Because in Africa we had
uh,
our different type of religion, like the African traditional religions, where we would like pray to God.
mm-hmm,
Right, we believe that there is one God, but would pray through the ancestors and so forth. Right, but once the white
mm-hmm,
settlers came, and in case of Zimbabwe, it was the British, right? Once they came and colonized Zimbabwe,
mm-hmm, yes,
they started teaching people about Christianity and so forth. And when that was the birth of Christianity in Africa. So most of the
uh,
states in
sorry, man.
Africa, they are like Christian states. You see, they are religion based.
Mm-hmm,
Hmm.
yes. But for Chinese people, like we have, yes, I think, I suggest we share this common sense that religion is uh, should as a reinforce to strengthen this society structure. It's not
Hmm.
the instead
Exactly.
of being the dominant. Okay, you can
Yeah.
support, you can help, you can reinforce, yes, and you are welcomed. Of course, you are welcomed and you will be accepted, but there's no way for the religion to be the dominant power, because that will be
Yeah.
totally out of control in Chinese, from a Chinese perspective, because we haven't tried, and I don't know the exact reason, but through like 5,000 years we don't try it. There's must be a reasonable reason, right?
Yeah, there must be something behind, obviously. Yeah, it wasn't something that just came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it looks like we are running out of time, and this is the end of today's discussion. So thank you, Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
for joining us today. Uh, hope we will have you again
Thank you
next time.
having me, Charles.